Catch past episodes of Create, Build, and Manage Daily on demand. Go to bizvod.com for details.
Hiring and retaining good talent has changed post-pandemic. Teri Healy is an expert on the subject. She is the owner of Teri Healy, LLC, and she joins us in studio tonight. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
No, we appreciate your time. This is a topic that is on the mind of a lot of business owners right now. So from your perspective, what has been the biggest change as far as what employees are looking for over the last few years versus what they were looking for, say, 5 years ago?
Well, that's a great question. And I think that they were looking for this 5 years ago, but I just don't think that they had the permission and the foundation to say, wait a second, we no longer just dream of this, now we're going to require it. So I think the biggest shift that I've seen is that employees are not looking for the same things that, say, we were looking for in my generation. So those things don't seem to have the same significance. They don't hold the same value. Employees as a whole, across generations, are looking for a better quality of life.
Right.
Yeah, it's not just about working until you fall over or get the gold watch and then fall over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think that's been brewing for a while. Mm-hmm. Do you think that started when we got our smartphones and now we're having to answer work calls all the time?
I'm not sure when I noticed it starting. I'd have to give that a little bit of thought. I can't imagine that doesn't contribute to it. It has to. I know when it hit my radar was right around 2019. And it was that was when I had that brainchild idea of, I think that there needs to be a different approach to things. I think, and it wasn't about retaining talent or even attracting talent at that point. It was more so about how do you serve your talent? How do you honor the people who are showing up for you, that are committing a portion of their lives and their passions and their hearts to your organization? What is a way of rewarding and giving back to them? So it started from that angle, but for me, when it first launched in my head and it all started coming together, it was a little premature. I don't think that we collectively were ready for this conversation.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Mm-hmm. So talk about your coaching experience and how that really helps you with your clients.
Well, wow, on so many different levels. That's great. It's a wonderful question. And I just left an interesting meeting with a gal who's probably going to be segueing into coaching. So it was a lot of, let me teach you some of the ropes that I learned the hard way. But I think that in the coaching that I've done, because I've done a myriad of different occupations, different levels, and people are very diverse and different, but we all have some commonalities to us. We're there's a similar wiring between all of us, and then we have our nuances and wrinkles off to the sides. All of that, I think, probably more than anything, helped me sharpen my eye and sharpen my skills.
That's awesome. Yeah. So let's talk about your program, On and Off the Clock. I want to put the website up for those who are watching BizTV tonight as you kind of walk us through it. Again, it's onandofftheclock.com. This is exciting.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Thank you.
Yeah.
So basically, the ultimate, if you were going to visit this, would be to have an assessment done. And I like to come in, I like to get on the ground floor. The work that I do is actually targeted to the ground floor. I do have some things that are scaled for middle management and beyond, but my love and my passion is for the folks on the floor. Because if, in my view, if a business owner doesn't realize that it's your ground floor that's driving your bus, you are really short-sighted. You're really missing it. I think now more than ever, we know they're telling us that they're driving our bus, and I'm watching. The markets that I serve, like where profitability is significantly diminished. How much are you losing if your front line isn't showing up?
Right.
You have to close restaurant doors for a day, or shutter it down to drive-through only. What are you losing? What's the cost of that? Versus if you just get the questions answered and get pointed in the right direction, then.
Well, and that's what makes your system so unique, because most focus on the executives, right? We're going to coach the executives. We want good executives. But man, you're the face of your company is usually not the executives.
Right, exactly. And unfortunately, the work that's that's focused in on the executive level, and companies hope that that'll trickle down, doesn't often end up making it to where it needs to make it. So so that's it's just a different angle.
That's great. That's great. Where did you get that passion to look at the frontline workers? Where did that start? Because again, most coaches, you're coaching the executives. So for you, what was the thought process, that sort of that aha moment of, man, we need to start here?
Right. Well, and that was what created the passion in 2019.
Okay.
So the wake up for me was watching my children, who are in their early 30s, and I'm 58 now, watching them come up through the ranks and start to carve out what would be their occupation or livelihood, and how absolutely unfair it is that I watch folks in that age group, that no matter what they do and where they go or what training they get or education they get, they don't have access to the same things that I did. So I would often say, well, when I was 27 and I got tired of a job, I would just, put my resume out there and get a better job and keep going onward and onward and get a nicer car and a bigger house and all the things that they tell us we're supposed to be striving for. And I look today and I think how unconscionable it is that is so out of reach.
Wow.
So that was what started that for me. And I thought, well, if they don't have access to that, two things. One is, then how do we bring a better life to them outside of those things? And even bigger is, what if we've been looking at it from the wrong direction? What if we've been chasing this story of success and happiness, and it's all external? And we're all left still standing there saying, there's still something missing. There's still a vacancy. Doesn't matter the nicest car I get or the biggest house I get or how many vacation homes I have. There's still something that's not being filled. And I look and I say, what if I were 30 years old again? And today I could say, I'm no longer going to define myself and my happiness from the outside, but rather I'm going to start defining from the inside, because no one else can do anything else about that.
I tell you what, we're just scratching the surface.
Do you
have time? Do you have time to stick around for a second?
Oh, I would absolutely love that.
I want to talk about that because I think there's a lot of people, this is going to resonate with them when they're watching this, because I think we're going to get into this as leaders. How can we follow Teri's example and start to look at our frontline workers? Stick around. We'll be right back right here on Create, Build, and Manage Daily.